How much did my Kawasaki Z750 project build cost? Watch this video. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So I wanted to make a quick video to discuss basically how much this project build has cost and what it should have cost and what it could have cost. So this is kind of a bit of a reality check for a lot of people, I suppose, and also for myself. It's good to keep a list of what you're spending on your project build. And I usually just have a spreadsheet and just note down all the costs and everything, just so I can keep on top of whatever it is. And then I have an idea in my head of what I'd like to spend. And then I also always keep in mind what I think the bike is worth as well. Not that I'm in business of building bikes and selling them, that kind of thing. But if you are, then you definitely need to have this calculation in your head and certainly have a spreadsheet. But if you're just doing it for your own enjoyment, let's say, or for your own interest, then it's certainly worthwhile, because otherwise costs can spiral and you never really know how much you spent on a project or your project build. So in terms of, I've got three prices or three costs which I've kind of set aside. So the first cost is, if let's just say I'd done this project build and I had all the parts, and that was the problem, I didn't have all the parts. It came in a box of bits, which I'll discuss that a little bit later on. But it came in a box of bits and I thought that all the parts were there, and then it soon realized that actually I was missing quite a few parts. But if I didn't have to spend any money on this project build in terms of parts alone, then it would be something like £560. £560, which is about what, $700 US, $800 US. That's what the whole project build would have cost in terms of just renewing everything, maybe putting some consumables on there, that kind of thing. Okay, now that's if everything was great and I had everything. So let's just say if I'd bought a donor bike and everything on that bike was in really good condition, and I didn't have to repair the engine, let's say, didn't have to split the engine, it started first, that kind of thing. It's just I got a really good deal on the bike and I'm just stripping it all apart just to give it a new, a new look, as it were, freshen it up a lot. That's kind of what would have happened. I would have spent minimal money on it, £200 or £300, £400, £560, and that's what it was. Let's just say for me, then I had to look at all the extras that I had to buy in terms of parts, in terms of wiring, in terms of switches, in terms of relays, that kind of thing. I'm going to make a video on all the little parts that I've bought, nuts, bolts, washers, fasteners. So much money goes on fasteners, paint, this kind of thing. The actual price, would you believe, jumped up to £1,500. So £1,500 is everything. And you think, how the hell did it cost that much? And that's the problem. It does. It costs that much. Now, also, you got to account for problems that are along the way that have cost you money, unforeseen expenses that you think, oh, I just don't have that part, or the part that you've got. This happened to me on 3 occasions, I think, with 3 different parts. They're the wrong part. You think, I need to get the proper part. You believe you've got the right part, but you don't. This is a problem with buying boxes of bits, let's say, as opposed to a complete motorcycle that you can actually see is complete. So if you have to buy extra parts, you have to buy extra consumables, you have to allow for hiccups. Let's just say, for example, motorcycle oil. I completely rebuilt the bike, started up, I put new motorcycle oil in it. Then I blew the engine again, so I've had to buy more motorcycle oil just to put into the newly rebuilt engine. So it's these kinds of things that just add up. So when you add £5 here, £10 there, £20, £30, dollars, shekels, whatever it is here, the costs soon add up. So over £1,500, £1,573 just for everything. In terms of the things that I thought, they were really unforeseen, the kind of extras. But the total of everything is now £1,727. So £1,727 for this Kawasaki Z750. I would be surprised if I got anything more than that for that bike. in terms of when I've bet. Now, if let's just say once I've finished it and I can get a really cheap, affordable painter to paint all my tank and my side covers and my tailpiece, I might just get something. So I might make my money back. But in terms of the value of the bike, it's pretty much, I would have been quids in if I didn't have to buy any parts and everything went rosy and I had everything. I would have been absolutely great. It would have been a really cheap build, fantastic. Even if I had to have the consumables, at one stage I thought I was in around about the £1,100, £1,200 mark. I thought, okay, that's great. That's absolutely fine. But the last couple of months, 2 or 3 months, lots of big expenses have had to come through. And this is the problem. This is the problem. You start adding things and you buy things so that you can do the bike. Let's say new gasket sets, new oil, new parts, new piston rings, this kind of thing. You have to get piston, pay for other piston rings because the ones they send were wrong and all this kind of stuff. It just all adds up. So this is the true cost of something that you think is going to be quite a cheap build, or you try and do it inexpensively, but the costs just keep on adding up. So all I would say is always keep a note, always keep a record of everything, every expense that you make. And also you've got to include in that expense any consumable or any fastener or any tool that you have to buy to fix that bike or to do, to make that restoration project complete. Because that's part of the cost of it. Yes, the tool you may retain for other builds in the future, but at the same time, you still needed that tool, that cost for that build. So for me, you have to include it. That's why for me, I've had to buy quite a few things now just to complete this project build. Therefore, that's why the costs have gone up to £1,727. Hope you found that useful. I'd say this is something that I feel that lots of people really need to appreciate, that if you've got a full workshop, which I've pretty got most of the stuff here actually, but if you've got a full workshop of all the fixings and all the consumables and everything like that you can just pick off a shelf, great, no problem. You're going to save a lot of money. And that's why I say, in terms of fasteners, nuts, bolts, screws, never throw anything away. Always keep it somewhere in a tin somewhere that you can pull upon. And actually, in many cases, that's what I've done on this project build as well. I've used a lot of fasteners that I already had, lots of wiring that I already had, lots of switches I already had, lots of things I already had, electrical connectors that I already had, that kind of thing. That's what you'll need. But when you have to start buying afresh, that's where the costs go up and up and up. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like what I do here, just keep on watching the videos, and I'll catch you again. Another video coming very soon. Don't forget to check out my books on the website. There we go. The Home Service Record, Biker's Tour, Journal, and all other motorcycle books are on the website, RevelatorAlf.com/books. You could also get them on Amazon as well. Go check them out. Right. Catch you again. Bye now.